Hi everyone, my name is Samin, and in this report me and my partner Marie-Chris would like to discuss some of the main negative aspects of social media which are focused on young adults today. As you see on this page, we have broken our report into four main parts named an overview of negative aspects of social media, mentioning some points of those negative aspects such as privacy issues, health consequences, cyberbullying and decreased productivity. In the next part, we would like to cite some recommendations for these negative aspects, and the last part of our report that we are going to discuss is conclusion. We are all aware that social media has had a tremendous impact in our life, culture, business, on the world at large, and so on. Social media websites are some of the most popular hosts on the internet, especially for young adults. Although there are many positive aspects of these websites, the negative ones which are effect on young adults are also numerous. Nowadays, most of people become the victim of these negative aspects and they get easily attracted to social networking sites to kill boredom in their study and diverting their attention from their issue to these social networks. Other negative sides of social media which affect on this group of society and we are going to argue about in the following slides are included one of the most serious privacy issues which is cyber identity theft, health consequences, cyberbullying and decrease in productivity. After discussing the overview of negative aspects of social media, the next topic that I would like to discuss is one of the most serious privacy issues of using social media, which is cyber identity theft. And after that, I'm going to argue some health consequences of using these websites. One of the most important privacy issues that I would like to discuss on this slide is cyber identity theft. Cyber identity theft involves the online misappropriation of identity tokens. Common online identity tokens include email addresses, web pages, and the combination of usernames and passwords which are used to access some systems such as online banking. Social media is teeming with opportunities for identity thieves, and most young adults are unaware that they're even at risk. The reason is that young adults consider social media as a place to share a lot of personal information. Even providing basic information on these websites makes young adults vulnerable to social media identity theft. Providing this data could publish them to the entire world and make it easy for hackers to get to work. By following the news, it could be understood that lots of usernames, passwords, and email addresses were stolen by thieves recently. Nowadays, lots of new ways are available to steal people's IDs, and it is becoming harder and harder to protect young adults from this crime. Social media giants Facebook and Twitter recently suffered such hack attacks, and Facebook claimed that no user data was compromised in this attack, while Twitter revealed that lots of usernames, passwords, and email addresses were stolen. According to Roberts LD 2013, identity theft and related fraudulent activities affect approximately 1 in 25 adults each year across Western societies. So that might be one of the most serious problems through the internet and social media is that people should aware. No matter how strong is the password or security, still there are lots of ways for hackers and thieves to use people's IDs. One of the most important negative aspects of social media that I am going to mention here is its health consequences for people. As long as social websites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so on add some features for users to make it convenient for them to share content with their friends and fans, there is a more likelihood that the percentage of addiction increases, especially for young adults. According to Tommy Toy 2012, vast majority of people, especially ones who are under 25-year-old, can be interrupted by an electronic message in the bathroom. Also, many of them need to check in on their Facebook at least once a day. It is also shows that in recent years, lots of people have to check in their social networks after going to bed or before getting out of it. Conceivably, points which I have mentioned above are good reasons to accept the fact that social media could be addictive and dangerous, especially for young adults. Depression would be another negative health consequence that I'd like to mention here. Regardless of whether people realize it, they spend a great deal of time to create their digital identity. The pressure of taking the right picture, using right filters, wearing right clothes at the right place with the right people could be too much pressure for a young adult. Additionally, the social media has affected society's emotional well-being. According to a recent article reported by Sarah Ridley 2012, Social networks such as Facebook can lead to depression if it is used to see how well an acquaintance is doing financially or how happy an old friend is in his relationship. Some researchers show that Facebook postings about things such as fabulous vacations, new houses or cars, or even happy relationships can evoke feelings of envy among surveillance users, and these feelings can then lead them to experience symptoms of depression. Although social media's negative aspects can be harmful for people, especially young adults, still there might be some people who are able to recognize these problems and keep others away from these issues. It was a short report about analysis of negative aspects of social networks. My partner will continue the report and mention some other negative points of social media. Thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm going to discuss about some of the negative effects of social media on the young adults today. Also, the recommendation for future action and the conclusion as well. Here is a closer look at the negative effects of social media such as cyberbullying and decreased productivity of the young adults. Cyberbullying. Concern about school-based bullying has recently grown to include peer aggression that occurs through social media. With a dramatic increase in adolescence, use of social media and the time spent in unsupervised interaction on social media, there is a concurrent rise in opportunity for bullying within this medium. The reduction in face to face encounters and growth in technology use, such as computers and mobile devices, have contributed to increased use of social networking sites. Electronic media provide people a new environment to misuse technology and anonymously bully others, anywhere and at all times. According to a study of Horner, it indicates that adolescents who are victims of electronic bullying experience a number of emotional consequences such as feeling of sadness, depression, anxiety, and fear, as well as behavioral difficulties like missing school, difficulty concentrating, losing trust in peers, and falling grades. Cyberbullying has tragically impacted college students, causing them to withdraw from school or commit suicide to avoid being bullied. According to the report of Edwina Thomas Washington 2015, that cyberbullying has spread widely among youth, with 50% of the college cyberbullies reported being victims in college. It also reported that the source used to be cyberbully included social networking sites, which has 25%, text messages 21.2%, email messages 16.1%, instant messages 13.2%, writing in a chat room 9.9%, and posting on a website 6.8%. It shows clearly that cyberbullying is one of the top negative effects of social media. The next one is the decreased productivity. Social media greatly affects the productivity. It proves to be a major distraction, prompting young adults to keep visiting the websites and check what other people and friends have been up to. Spending too much on social media is one of the biggest ways that someone can waste their time. A lot of young adults seem to addict to social networking sites, and it affects their productivity in an academic setting. For example, young adults are eager to log in their Facebook or Twitter to see what their friends share each day, even when they are at school or at home. After logging in, they find so many things to view and read there, and they cannot get back to what they're doing quickly. As a result, they will be less productive than normal. According to the research of Cabral Jacqueline, the recurring inner conflict among this generation's ability to be productive or spend more time on social media has an effect on how each individual performs in school, work, and in their tangible relationships. Overall, this inner disagreement of productivity provides a deeper problem where social media has a large power over the individual's thought process. The next slide are the recommendations. The changes brought to society by the rapid development of social media are profound and far reaching and will continue to be. So, these recommendations are made. Prevent cyber identity theft. to omit personal information and carefully manage the privacy settings. Also, don't be a friend with everyone and avoid tagging location in any application and programs. These actions are important to take precautions to protect the data that has been shared online. The benefits of this action is to avoid providing additional information that might help identity thieves. Also, to avoid to be friend with them. And the next slide is health consequences. Under this is the addiction and depression. By preventing this, put a limitation or be more cautious about how often to use social media. Also, time restriction should be implemented in using social media as well. These actions are important in order to lessen being addictive and to avoid depression. The benefits of these actions is for young adults can focus on developing better relationships with family and friends rather than engulfing themselves in the virtual world. They can also use extra time to focus on schoolwork or other real-life activities. In cyberbullying, to avoid cyberbullying, don't respond or retaliate. Save the evidence. Reach out for help. These actions are important and to take note because their action is exactly what aggressors are looking for. They think it gives them power over the victim. As for retailing, getting back at the bully turns victim into one, and can turn one mean act into a chain reaction. Saving the evidence is important as well as the victim can turn these documents over to an adult that can help. Reaching out for help to an adult they can trust could help the victim to process what's going on and work through it. The benefits of this action is the cyberbullies who do not get response from their target may just move on, and saving the evidence in case things escalate. And reaching out for the help of the authorities or adult can help the victim's safety protected. The next slide is decreased productivity. Young adults have several options of extracurricular activities that they can choose from. Some extracurricular activities include sports, art, music, or theater. This action is important because by engaging in extracurricular activities, young adults will take away their attention from technology to be creative. As they focus on developing talents and skills, they will reduce their technology usage. By involving in extracurricular activities, gets young adults engaged and foster a positive learning environment. Also, it will increase their attentiveness and communication skills. As they participate in these activities, they will also learn time management, responsibility, and other valuable skills. So this is the last topic of our discussion for our presentation. Our conclusion. It seems that social media revolutionized the way people communicate and socialize on the web. It also not only changing how young adults communicate, but how they interact with each other in daily life. It really affects the young adults' lives in many ways, including their communication, self-expression, privacy, and even their own mental health. Social media applications make the situation even worse, although they seem to present more friendly environments as far as interfaces and interactions are concerned. The social media has its advantages and drawbacks, and it is up to each user to use social sites wisely to enhance their professional and social life, and exercise caution to ensure they do not fall victim to online dangers. Overall, young adults should use social media as means of communication or work, rather than being addicted to them. However, they should also use the social media wisely to get their advantages and to avoid or minimize its negative effects. So, this is the end of our presentation for discussing the negative aspects of social media. And our reference list is placed on the end of this presentation. Thank you.